Chapter number 4. Name of chapter is supply. First of all, meaning of supply. Supply is that quantity which all producers are willing and ready to sell at a particular price during a given period. Supply is that quantity which all producers are willing, first point, willing and ready to sell at a particular price and during a given period. So, according to this definition, 4 elements must be important in supply. First one is willingness. Second one is ready to sell. Then they must get a particular price, or you can say price of the commodity. Price of the commodity also plays a vital role in supply. Price of the commodity. And fourth, at a particular point of time. Or in short, you can write time. So willingness, ready to sell, then price and time. These are more important factors regarding supply. 4 elements must be present. Then production of goods by the producers can be converted into supply. The supply is that quantity which all producers, here we are studying about supply, so supply will be studied from the producer's point of view. So it is that quantity or all quantity which producers are willing and ready to sell at a particular price during a given period of time. Now supply has 2 parts. Supply has 2 parts. One is stock and other is production. Production has 2 parts, stock and second one is supply. Now stock. Stock is that part of production stock is the part of production and supply is also the part of production. So supply is that part of production. First of all, supply is that part of production. Then we have done definition of supply. Supply is that part of production which a producer is willing and ready to supply at a particular price during a given period. Now stock is that part of production, opposite of supply, which a supplier is not willing and ready to supply at a particular price and at a particular point of time. Means the part of production which is not supplied, that is called stock. Stock is kept in godown or warehouse, and whenever suppliers are earning or expected to earn huge profit, then they are supplying, or when the time comes to earn profit, then they are supplying those part of production in the market, then it becomes supply. So stock is once again Stock is that part of production which a supplier is ready, or supplier or producer is ready to supply in the market. Then it becomes supply, otherwise it remains stock. It has two parts. Production has two parts, stock and supply. Now the important topic, factors affecting supply. There are many reasons due to which or because of which supply may increase or decrease. These reasons, these factors are called determinants. Determinants of supply. Determinants or factors. These factors or determinants are: first, price of the commodity. Price of the commodity. Second point, cost of factors of production. Third point, level of technology. Fourth point, expectation of change in price in near future. Fifth one is other factors. In other factors I am taking government policies. Government policies. Otherwise, government policies, political stability, then natural calamities, these are responsible for affecting supply. So main points are price of the commodity, cost of factors of production, level of technology, expectation of change in price in near future, and other factors. Other factors includes government policies, competitors policies, political instability, natural calamities. So in fifth point I will take only government policies. These are factors or determinants of supply. Now explanation of each and every point. First point, price of the commodity. First point, price of the commodity. In demand factor also, price is the main factor. Similarly, in case of supply also, price is the main factor. Now relation between price and supply. Price and supply. Whenever price of any particular commodity increases, as a result, the profit margin of producer also increases, and when profit margin increases, supply automatically increase, or we can say that producers tend to increase their supply. So whenever price increases, it increases profit margin of the producers. As a result, supply of commodity in the market also increases. On the other hand, or vice versa, whenever price reduces, profit margin also reduces. As a result, supply of goods also reduces. It shows that there is a positive relation between price and supply. So there is positive relation between price and supply. Next point, cost of factors of production. Cost of factors of production. Factors of production are land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. Cost means expense expense incurred on factors of production during production. During production, whatever expense incurred on these different factors of production, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. So whatever expense incurred on these factors of production during production, that expense or those expenses are called cost. So whenever cost of factors of production, whenever cost of factors of production increases, whenever cost of factors of production increases, it reduces profit margin. First of all, it also increases price. Whenever cost of factors of production increases, it also increases price. But here, increase in price reduces the profit margin. Profit margin. And when profit margin reduces, producers are not interested in supplying more in the market. As a result, supply decreases. So whenever price increases due to increase in cost of factors of production, profit margin of the producer reduces. As a result, supply also reduces. It means there is negative relation between cost of factors of production and supply. Here, our arrow mark is moving in the opposite direction. Cost of production is increasing, supply is decreasing. Means both arrow marks are moving in the opposite direction. It shows that there is negative relation between cost of factors of production and supply. Now, on the other hand, whenever cost of production reduces, cost of factors of production reduces, as a result, profit margin increases, profit margin of producer increases, and ultimately supply also increases. So whenever cost of factors of production decreases, even price remains same. At the same price, profit margin of the producer increases. Whenever cost of production reduces, it does not mean that price will also reduce. Price remains same. At the same price, the profit margin of the producer increases, and whenever profit margin of the producer increases, supply also increases. Again, it shows that there is negative relation between cost of factors of production and supply. 2 points completed: price of commodity and cost of factors of production. In case of price of commodity, there is positive relation between price and supply, or in case of cost of factors of production and supply, there is negative relation. The third point, is level of technology. Level of technology. Whenever new technology comes in the market, and if it is adopted by producer. Whenever new technology comes in the market and if it is adopted by producer, then first case, why we are adopting new technology? Every producer or supplier is adopting new technology in order to reduce cost of factors of production. Cost of factors of production means they want to produce more and more at lower cost. That is the advantage of new technology. So whenever any producer or supplier is adopting new technology in their business, the cost of factors of production reduces. And whenever cost of factors of production reduces, profit margin profit margin of producers increases. And when profit margin increases, ultimately suppliers are interested in supplying more in the market, means supply also increases. So whenever cost of factors of production decreases, we have already done in second point that whenever cost of, and here cost of factors of production reduces because of new technology. New technology. So because of new technology, cost of factors of production reduces. As a result, profit margin increases and ultimately supply also increases. And second point, in same third point, second sub point, when they are adopting or they are remain with the same technology, means old technology, same technology, or we can say old technology, then opposite of that, cost of production, factors of production increases. As a result, profit margin reduces and supply also reduces. The third point is completed. Fourth point, is expectation of change in price in near future. Expectation of change in price in near future. Expectation of change in price in near future. Now, if price is going to increase, price is going to increase in near future, so whenever price of any particular commodity is going to increase in near future, it means in future that commodity's price is going to be expensive, means at that time in future producers are able to earn more. That's why at current price, they will reduce the supply. So if price is going to increase in near future, it means in future they are able to earn more profit. That's why at current price they will reduce the supply. On the other hand, opposite of that, if price is going to falls down in near future, means right now, means at current price they are earning more profit. That's why they will try to increase the supply at current price. Increase the supply. So if price is going to increase in near future, they will reduce the supply at current price or prevailing market price. This is also known as prevailing market price. Prevailing market price. On the other hand, if price is going to reduce in near future, then they will increase the supply at current price, at prevailing market price. And fifth, last one, other factors. In other factors, I am taking the example of government policies. And government policies are always related with subsidies and tax. Now first subsidy. If government is providing subsidies to producers, if government is providing subsidies to producers, as a result, cost of factors of production decreases. And when cost of factors of production decreases, we have already done in second point, whenever cost of factors of production decreases, their profit margin increases, and as a result supply also increases. First point, subsidies. Whenever government is providing subsidies to producers on various materials, for example, they are using such type of raw materials in which it is required for government to provide subsidies. Once they are getting subsidies, means producers are getting subsidies from government. As a result, their cost of factors of production reduces. And when cost of production reduces, the profit margin of producers increases. And when once profit margin increases, they are tend to increase more and more goods in the market. They are willing to supply more and more goods in the market. First point, subsidy is completed. Tax. Whenever tax is imposed by government, means government is imposing more tax. If government is imposing more tax, opposite of that, cost of factors of production increases. Once cost of factors of production increases, profit margin of supplier reduces. And whenever profit margin reduces, suppliers are not interested in supplying more in the market, means ultimately supply decreases. In this way, factors affecting supply is completed. Fourth point, expectation of change in price in near future is completed. And fifth one is other factors. In other factor I have taken government policies. Whenever government policies are always related with subsidies or tax. So whenever they are providing subsidies, cost of factors of production reduces, profit margin increases. There is negative relation between cost of factors of production and profit margin. And profit margin is directly related with supply. If profit margin increases, supply also increases. If profit margin reduces, supply also reduces. Now next topic. Next topic is law of supply. Law of supply. Law of supply states that whenever price of any particular commodity increases, supply also expands, and if price reduces, supply also contracts. Other things remaining constant. This is the definition of law of supply. Law of supply states that whenever price of any particular commodity increases, means whenever price increases, supply also expands or rises. Supply also expands or rises. For supply here, you are not required to use the word increases, otherwise definition becomes wrong. So, whenever price of any particular commodity increases, for price you can use the word increases, but for supply you cannot use the word increases. So whenever price of any particular commodity increases, supply also expands or rises. On the other hand, whenever price of any particular commodity reduces or decreases, supply also contracts or falls down. Means for supply we cannot use the word increases or decreases. It shows that there is a positive relation between price and supply. This point we have already done in previous topic, factors affecting supply. So there is positive relation between price and supply. Now on the basis of this definition, schedule, for example, price and supply. Price is 5 rupees, supply is 50 kg. When price increases from 5 rupees to 6 rupees, supply also expands from 50 kg to 60 kg. Then you have to explain this schedule. For example, when price of any particular commodity is 5 rupees per unit, supply is 50 kg at 5 rupees. When price increases from 5 rupees to 6 rupees, supply also increases from increases or expands from 50 kg to 60 kg. It shows that there is positive relation between price and supply. Then you have to draw a diagram. X, Y, here supply, here price. OP represents price and OQ represents supply. Now when price increases, supply will also increase. Join this change price and change supply. On the other hand, whenever price decreases, supply also contracts. Join this change price. And then you have to make a graph like this. It shows that whenever there is positive relation between price and supply curve is sloping upward. So what is the shape of supply curve? Sloping upward. Sloping upward. So this is the definition of law of supply. So in case of law of supply, whenever price of any particular commodity increases, supply expands, and if price reduces, supply contracts, other things remaining constant. In case of law of supply, there is positive relation between price and supply, and since there is positive relation between price and supply curve is sloping upward from left to right. If direction left to right, supply curve is sloping upward from left direction to right direction. Now second part of this topic, law of supply, assumptions. Assumptions. In definition of law of supply, we have already written that other things remaining constant. What does it mean? It means that other things means other factors. Other factors remaining constant. It shows that other factors remain same. Means other factors do not change. And these other factors are, first point, level of technology. When we are establishing relation between price and supply, that time we have to assume that other factors do not change, it remains same. First point is level of technology remains same or does not change. Second point, cost of factors of production. Cost of factors of production remains same or does not change. Third point, government policies. Regarding subsidies or tax does not change. Fourth, there is no change in price in near future. These are called assumptions of law of supply. Next topic, exceptions. Exceptions to the law of supply. In case of exceptions, first of all, what is exceptions to the law of supply? We have already done demand chapter. Exceptions means there are certain goods, certain commodities on which law of supply is not applicable. Not applicable means there are certain goods on which price there is no positive relation between price and supply. Means law of supply is not applicable on such goods. Those type of goods are called exceptions to the law of supply. Now which types of goods are there on which law of supply is not applicable? Those goods are, first one is rare goods. Rare goods. And second one is perishable goods. Perishable goods. These are the two types of goods on which law of supply is not applicable. First point, rare goods. We all know that rare goods are limited. So whenever price of rare goods increases, their supply cannot increase. Their supply cannot increase. In case of rare, for example, old coins, old currencies, old stamps, antique pieces, their supply cannot be increases. Means current production cannot take place. That's why even price increases, supply cannot increase. That's why in such type of goods or in rare goods, law of supply is not applicable. That's why these goods are called exceptions to the law of supply. Second one is perishable goods. Perishable goods are those goods which is spoiled or destroyed immediately. Means within a very short span of time, such type of goods is spoiled, damaged or destroyed. For example, milk products, vegetables. These are coming under the category of perishable goods. So even price, for example, if price of tomato decreases, if price decreases, supply should also decreases. But in case of tomato, supply will not decrease. On the contrary, supply of tomato increases. Reason, tomato is a kind of perishable goods. So in case of perishable goods also, law of supply is not applicable. That's why perishable goods also comes under the category of exceptions to the law of supply. These are such goods on which law of supply is not applicable. Okay. Next topic. Next topic is expansion and contraction of supply. Expansion and contraction of supply. In case of expansion and contraction, price is the main factor. Expansion and contraction of supply. Or both expansion and contraction of supply is also known as movement along a supply curve. Movement along a supply curve. The first combined definition of expansion and contraction of supply. Whenever supply changes due to change in price. Whenever supply changes, here changes means both increases or decreases. This combined definition for expansion and contraction of supply. Whenever supply changes due to change in price is called expansion and contraction of supply. Now separate definition for expansion and contraction. First, expansion. Whenever supply rises due to rise in price. We all know that there is positive relation between price and supply, positive relation. So here we are establishing positive relation. Whenever supply rises due to rise in price is called expansion of supply. Second, contraction of supply. Whenever, opposite of that, whenever supply falls down due to decrease in price, decrease in price, then it is called contraction of supply. Means expansion and contraction of supply is directly related with the price. If price increases, supply expands. If price decreases, supply contracts. So supply, once again, expansion and contraction of supply is related with price. Now diagram. First, expansion of supply. X, Y, here P, O, Q. X represents supply, Y represents price. Now expansion. Whenever price increases, supply also rises, means expands. So curve should be like this. So earlier equilibrium point was E, but now equilibrium point shifted upward to E1. So when price increases, supply also increases. As a result, equilibrium point E moves upward to E1. It means in case of expansion, equilibrium point moves upward on the same curve. Curve is same, curve is 1. On the same curve, point moves upward. Now, contraction. Again, same explanation. X represents supply, Y represents price. When price reduces, supply also reduces. So when price was OP, demand supply was OQ. When price reduces from OP to OP2, supply also reduces from OQ to OQ2. As a result, equilibrium point also shifted from E to E2, means shifted downward. In case of expansion, equilibrium point shifted upward, but on the same curve. So when point moves upward or downward on the same curve, then it is called movement along a supply curve. A supply curve means there is only one curve. On that curve, due to expansion or contraction, point moves either upward or downward. That's why it is called movement along a supply curve. The topic is complete.